Hi, I'm Melanie Florence. Welcome to Miss Melly's Flow. This is my new YouTube channel, and today I'm doing a reading for the Facebook only inspired. I guess these are from the real fairies only in Facebook. So I'm doing some content, like, because I wanted to do some readings. I bought some fairy cards to that I can do these with, so these are a bit different to my normal readings, except that I always do them by element. So I decided not to do things by star sign, and because you can connect with the elements in a lot of different ways. Obviously, if you've got things in your charts that are earth, then this is great. Oh, I keep bouncing because of the table, or something's going on there. Whoa. So sorry, earth signs, earth element. And so this is for my fae folk. So this is for our elemental, and so this is for the people who might be woodland and connected to, you know, the animals and things that are a little bit more earthy, and the trees and that sort of stuff. But it's also, your earth is about your practical world, your material world, and how you look at that. So we can look at it a couple of different ways. Our fire is about our faith, our passion, our spirituality. Our communication is our air, so our intellect, our mind, our thoughts, our learning, and we've got so your water is your emotional connection. So you could look at all of these videos if you want to look at all different parts of your being, but these are also for our elemental folk. So if you feel that you're connected to the earthy element, this is for you. So how I've been doing these readings is a little bit different. So what I've got is I've got the fairy blessing cards from Lucy Cavendish. A friend of mine gave me a Lucy Cavendish deck in a bunch of decks that she gave me early this year. It's a really generous and abundant gift, and so it took a while to work out what I wanted to do with that, and now I started the page. So this, I'm going to read from 3 of her decks, and so one of them is a Blessed Bee deck, and the other being the Fairy Forest deck. So I'm going to turn a couple of cards from each of those. I'm actually going to read the blessing from the Fairy Blessing cards, so I haven't read them before, so these are all new to me as well as we turn them out, and then I'm going to do a full reading for the earth elementals, fairy folk. So I hope you really enjoy this. I have set this format up so that we're sort of sitting next to each other, because I like to do my readings sitting next to people. So I've got it so that I can see you and we can chat. And I'm also going to turn it to the cards, and I'm sorry if that throws some odd angles, but that's how we're going to roll. Alright, so I've really locked these in a really weird way. I've got one on wheels and one on a desk, and just sorry, bouncing around. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Alright, so the table, table. Alright, so I'm going to show you what we got going on. And so first I'm going to throw from the Lucy Cavendish Fairy Blessing card. Oh, what have we got? Blessings of the Wild Within. Oh, here we are. The Wild Woman. So, or the Wild Within. Blessings from the Wild Within. So let's see what the reading actually says. Let me put this down here on the table so that you can see them. To there, and I'm going to go to number 24. So we're talking about 24. Blessing of the Wild Within. Excuse my dictation. It's not necessarily my strongest suit, but we're going to work with it. Blessings from the Wild Within. A fairy gift of the untamed heart. Within you is a wild place, a place that is pure and untouched by the conditioning, and should be and should nots. And in this place, to the and it is a place, wait a second, and it is to this place, the fairy blessing of the wild within comes and rests and takes root within you this day. The fairy blessing is a calling back to your wild self, to the self that is being shaped and pummeled by the forces of family and culture and manner and jobs and timetables and all the things of the human world that cage us. And so the Fae offer you this shining blessing, which returns you for a moment to your own wild within, so you can remember what it felt like to be natural, to be unthinking and uncensored, to be innocent and dancing, to move on when called to have that primal instinctual self take hold and fly within you.
When this blessing comes, let that wild within flow all the way through you. Find all the places and spaces of your life are to allow the wild within have its moment. Dance without fear of judgment. Speak, words falling like waterfalls from your lips. Sing and use the voice of the great gift of nature has offered you. And never feel awkward and strange or feel like you don't fit in. Instead, knowing that you are a deep part of all that is around you, and that somehow your very presence, you ignite a little of that wild within you in every soul you meet. May the blessings of the wild within offer you the return to the natural, the most innate parts of you, and let them arise and dance and sing towards being loving, and let the most initial parts of you, let them take rise and dance and sing and be loving towards all. Let the untamed heart of you warm all that is about you, bring you back and sense the deep belonging to the earth and to the stars. Blessings of the fairy gift of the wild within you, friend. Alright, I really love these blessings, and I really love these cards. Lucy Cavendish. I bought a few decks, they're all on the way. Alright, so the next card we're going to draw is... Next card we're going to draw is a Blessed Bee card. Open the Blessed Bee deck. Birds on the top. I'm talking. And I'm going to take the top one of those. A Blessed Bee card. A blessing on growing older. You know what? There's something about growing old gracefully. You do know stuff. You don't ever fall back on nothing. You always fall back on who you are. Even when there's a big everything going on, there's disasters. There's something in being wise and having a bit of time under your sleeve, so you can say, I know things and I know what I know, and you can be firm in that. So you know you're getting older, but this is saying get older and get wilder. Is what this is actually saying for the earth signs. And so one more. So this card is coming from the bounce on my spring on a thing. This card is coming from the fairy forest. Also Lucy Cavendish, the deck that I got given. Oh, and there we are. Who are we? They got a little elf on the top of this. Pixie elf, it's great. Alright, what have we got? The wizard, the rune king, the wise one, the council. Alright, take time. Take time. The rune king is a wise, but he's also mysterious and mystique. And take time to get to know the depths of the darks in the forest. Take time, like, to be the counselor, to talk to your council. Growing old, growing wise, growing wild. Alright, that's what we've got. The wizards. We've got a lot of W's here. Wild, wizard, growing older. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is a read with the Greenwood deck, and this is going to talk about what we got here, how we got here in the first few cards, our healing element, how we apply ourselves to the world, the practical world, how we're going to apply ourselves with that, with this new knowledge, our partnerships, and then we're going to have the last card is your self-love card. It's all about you. So I'm going to turn this down to the table for you, and we're going to shuffle and see what brought us here just to start with. Okay, this is all new setup, so, and this is all new to me. I hope you're enjoying. Alright, so for the earth element, we've got a lot of earthy cards sitting here. The world tree. It's either the world tree or the wheel of fortune that's turned up in these cards. One of them, too. That's transition, same thing. Okay, so. Alright, what brought us here? The world has changed. Judgment, others, and our path and judgment. Okay, nope, not 10. Just 2 more for how board is here for the earth elementals. For the earth elementals, how did we bring them here? How are our fairy folk? How are our woodland folk? What have we got here? 2 more cards. Come on, my love. There we are. I'm going to take the top one. One more challenge. Okay. One more. And we're going to take that one. How we got here. For the earth elementals. Alright, so the world tree. So this is about our path. This is about the world changing. This is the season changing. The tree is us. It's how do we get to our path? How do we get with our path within? You know, we walk it, and each one of us is walks alone. In the end, we're gonna be at our own tree, and we're gonna look at the world and what the roots we've grown underneath, and our foliage and everything that we've grown, and the organicness of us. That's what will be left. That energy. And so it's how we walk our path in the world that's changing, and that's been a big focus. And I've seen it both in the world tree, and also in the wheel of fortune has also been changing, and all these readings have had one of the other, one both. So this is our world and your path to the divine. So how you walk it in your seasons and how it changes. Because this is a transition we've been going through. It's a transition of the mind. So this is 6 arrows. Arrows is always of the mind, and transition is talking about we've already crossed our boat. You know, we leave one path and we go across, and sometimes it's emotional, the water is underneath us. But the transition is of the mind. When you let go of the emotions and you actually let your mind take in the new information and process and move in and change your mindset into a new place. So this is what that's talking about, that sort of transition. And in the middle of this, how brought us here is judgment. And so the bear is not the scary thing. The aim, again, is the cave. The aim, keep your eye on the cave, keep your eye. There's some beautiful things going on around it. And this judgment, though, is of others and what the world thinks and how it's going to fall. And, you know, people keep talking about that. But how we judge ourselves and that we don't care about, you know, there's 1,000 different versions of us in other people's minds, and that is not ourselves. It's how we judge ourselves that is the important bit of this, and the judgment of the world, and how you process in that, and how you're moving forward in that onto your goals, to your path, to where you're going. There's a big, big, big thing in the center of this. So then we have a challenge. Oop, we have a physical challenge. We have 2. This is how you make your money. This is a challenge of how you live your physical life. This is how you run your schedule. This is a physical challenge. This is actually stepping up to the plate and saying, I have to change my world a bit. I have to change myself physically a bit. I have to change how I might be operating a bit. Like, this is a definite challenge that everybody's been facing. Do I wear a mask? Do I masturbate or something? Like, this is definitely about how we're going to work in our physical world and how the world has changed. And we know it has. And we're working our path. And so then we have the green woman. This is very earthy. This is you embracing you as an earth person. You know, the wild person and the counselor and the wise one and the person that's growing old. These are the people we already mentioned inside of here, but this is embracing this on a really organic level. I am what I am, who I am, on a deep, very physical, and we see the path again. We see the path inside of here that we're talking, but this here is the breath of life. That is that fresh breath that leads us on. And there's a rebirth inside of this. There's a organic rebirth as we've got our denizens around us. This is a very organic place for us to be as an earth sign or an earth element. This is a very organic place to be. Alright, so we've had a transition. Things have changed. The world has changed, and how we see it and how we judge it and our challenge in it. So the next cards are our healing element. It's what's going to help. Oof. There we are, Queen of Stones. What's going to help? What's the healing element? Knight of Cups. This is for our earth element. Alright, so the Archer, which is the Chariot. Ooh, and frustration. How do we move forward with frustration? A lot of ideas, that's what frustration is. It's panning through everything. How many ideas have you got that you can work through? That's frustration. Alright, so what we got is the Queen of Stones. So the Queen of Stones is talking about us, an earthy element. This is a feminine, but this is embracing the feminine earth. This is protecting yourself. This is protecting your own. This is cleaning out your house. This is stocking your larder. This is stocking your practical world. This is working with you as the most earthy, like, green woman that we've got, like just connecting inside of that. Those 2 cards are related. This is a Virgo card, like, you know, this is a definite the Queen and embracing that earthy element. But it's not just that. We're also embracing
the King of Cups, which is our reindeer, and this is intoxicating. This is that intoxicating element of our passion inside of us, that real strong, like a man that actually knows his heart and wants to be involved on a really like passionate level, on a very emotional level. This is being emotionally available to what's going on around you in a very like open and masculine way, being level-headed about our emotions, but being intoxicated with the world around us. So the next card is the Chariot, and the Chariot is about, or the Archer, and so the Archer is about forwarding forward inside of your goals. You see the potential energy with this. You see her bow is drawn. She's got her guardians again. And she's aiming, and it's talking about that you have a skill set. You have what's in your quiver. You have everything you have to move forward. This is a potential energy. So you can embrace that and move forward in the earthly plane and take it with strength and manifest on this plane with your skills and what you have and your potential and your knowledge that you draw from and that you aim at, and you aim at your stars, at your goals to get what you want. This is steady and this is stable. This is earthly bound. Alright, so frustration as a healing element. We'll go over that just again, 1 second. So before we have all of this aim and we have all of this stuff, but we have all of these arrows. So arrows about communication. So frustration sometimes is really talking about leveling out all the ideas. Sometimes that's brainstorming. It's like getting all the ideas. Sometimes it's like you got to get through. When I plan a holiday, I think I look at 500% of things that I might want to go and see. And what I want to know out and get some knowledge, and then I refine it back down to that 10% that's going to be my trip, and then I put in actually rest days and other stuff like you might want to see and be involved in. But it's like, you know, I look at everything, so it's all the ideas, and it's all the ideas, and it's everybody's ideas out, and so this is our healing element. So sometimes this is going to be critical information. People are going to be critical, and that is our healing element. Inside of this, it's actually looking at what those arrows are, where they hit. We might not hit the target every time, but are we actually using that potential? You don't have to hit every target. Sometimes putting the idea out there is about just spluttering it out there and seeing where it hits. So that's where we're going to go with healing as a frustration. So how do we apply this to our practical world? What can we do? What step is our next step? I'm going to go that card. Oh, just that one. Home. So this is looking after our home. The 10 of stones. This is our legacy, our investment. Alright, we'll look at that in just. I'm going to take that one because I saw you. I saw you sneaking out there. Alright. Oh, not all of those though. Alright, so our earth element. Our earth elemental. One more. This is how we apply. It's the second time I've had these coming up as healing and applying actually. That's good. Alright, so the 10 of stones. So we're talking about the home. This is our legacy card. This is how we build, and it's keeping your eye on the home and looking after the home. And I've really said to people, practical application, if we are really bored, have a look at Marie Kondo. Bless your house, bless your stuff, and move the stuff on and thank it for being with you. And it's time to let go of your clutter. Maybe this is maybe buying a new home. This could be looking at moving. This is about what makes our home, what makes all of our steps and all of our dreams, and still investing, and where do we hope and where do we go with all of those. Alright, so then we have the sun. And this is about bathing yourself in the universal whole, opening yourself up to the light of everything, of the essence of the universe. It's going to bathe you in your heart and make you strong. It's strong inside. The sun is like the strongest energy we could ever have. If we just harnessed it, we could power the world with the movement and the sun. Literally, we have a powerhouse in our hearts that can warm us up. It's like the sun is like nature's disinfectant. Get out. If you haven't been out and you've got the sads and you've got some time, it's a bit blustery and like overcast here today, but literally you can literally like get out and get some and feed your soul and that stuff. But you're passionate, and your wild person is passionate. This is a passionate card. Embrace everything that you are as you get older and as you're wiser. You embrace the wizard. And so then we're going to talk about jealousy. Now jealousy sometimes has got a third person involved, or it's got a, this is a jealous energy. So this is about putting out that that there's other people that might be jealous of you. Envy says you're probably doing something right
inside of things. But it's like, you know, there's a third party and it's talking about different energies together and talking about what's going on, and maybe the frustrations and nutting out those frustrations of different energies. And sometimes you see somebody else's stuff and you're like, oh, I like what they're doing, and so you're going to do some of what they're doing, that sort of jealousy and envy. Like, you got to be careful not to imitate when you get to this situation. You got to be careful to still be ingenuous and congruent to you. Like, and make sure that you're actually being you. Like, but it's okay to go, that person does something and has stuff, and I want to work out how I can get to me to being there. And that's sort of envy, and that's what we're talking about. But doing it in a grounded way. This is our earth reading. Like, so, you know, be very careful that this is not a bitchy energy, but you are allowed to talk it through. Talk it through. So then we're going to go on to partnerships, considering that's where we're coming out on how we are applying ourselves in the practical world. Alright, so partnerships. What have we got? Ooh, exploitation. Ooh. Oh, it doesn't sound good, but it sort of can be. Alright. One more card. We'll take that one. I've sort of read this off the table. This is sort of fun. Again, related cards, there's 2 cards just sitting there. Alright, so we have exploitation. So this is the little bee. The little bees all know what they do. They go out and get their stuff. They come back into the hive. They make their honey. They're industrious. And we're talking about stones. We're talking about 6. This leads into skills. This is surrounding-based skills. But this is how do we do it? And it's like, you are allowed to exploit yourself in the world. It's how to, and this is in partnerships. It's like, you know, telling and working with your partner's best attributes, and you're working together in partnerships, and actually seeing the honey and sharing the honey like equally between everybody. Like, this is about, you know, seeing the prosper of your labor and seeing how it's integral to stuff like inside of your partnerships. And this is the stones. This is very practical sort of labors, and your honey, how you getting your honey, which is the muses in the Greek world. I like to talk about the muses a lot because I'm inspired by them. They're brilliant. And so we've got strength, and I've got a muse deck. It's brilliant, and for any young readers that are just getting in, the muses deck is great. This is the card of strength, and this is aligned with the sun, and it is also aligned with air. You can see all the communication people in it. This is the lynx, and that's the king, and this is the knight, which is the hawk. So this is expressing yourself, and expressing yourself directly in a direct manner out into the world, and with strength and with passion. Again, we've got a cup in there, and we see the heart is warm. There's definitely like link with the sun, and how we, with the strength of our partnerships is what we've got in there, and how we talk about ourselves and how we work together to make our honey inside of this. So the last card that we've got inside of this is the self. How do you get to your self-healing? For the earth, I think I said water earlier. I was really connected with the water lately. But this is our earth element, the strength of our earth and our connection with it, our roots. Our roots. What is our outcomes? Not outcome. Our self-love. Is, ooh, we've got 2 that jump together. So we've got the self-love, right, card. This was just meant to be 1, but we're going to sit with 2 because that's what's jumped. And so the 7 of stones, this is about actually physically healing yourself and taking the time, buying your vitamins, know what's good for you, taking your meditation, take the time out, do your yoga. This is connecting with the root chakra. This is our base chakra, and for me that's something that I've had to really work with the last, because there's been scattered energies all over the place. But we're now in a passionate place, new moon, this passionate new moon. And so what we've got here is we've got our ancestor, our shaman, healing us with our soul, and reconnecting us while we stop and we heal. And this is a moment for the earth to heal. And then we turn in and we've got 1 other card, and the Knight of Wands. So what we've got is the Knight of Wands is about passionate. This is divining rod down the bottom. There's a spiritual element to these eternal bachelors. But what we're doing is we're eternally searching for something, searching for the face, searching and looking, and being a fox, looking for that cunning. You know, this is about us spiritually, like, manning up a bit and healing ourselves, and seeing ourselves in a nice strong way. So we've got the Fire Knight to go with our fire cards that we've had here. So, to finish this off, I'm going to draw 2 more cards from the from 2 different decks. So one of them is the Earth Magic deck, which is Stephen D. Farmer, and I'm going to say that forever, Stephen D. Farmer, because that's just irony if that's ever this one, Stephen D. Farmer. Alright, I'm going to shuffle that again. I'm going to leave it up, but I'm going to give you a second card because that came out for the last reading. So I will give you that because it links in with everything you've got and there's no reason not to. But I'm also going to give a second card. One more. That one. That one. So, we're going to talk about Cave and Sanctuary and the Fire and the Passion. The Cave and Sanctuary is about endurance. So endurance is sitting by and weathering the storm and taking time to yourself. Like, this is using your skills to occupy yourself. Like, a cave is a safe place to be. It's a safe place to be and look after yourself. So you can, we etch our time on the sides and the walls of the caves, like, and this goes with the Hermit card, like, it sort of would be like, take your time to develop you, you've got the wild within, you've been blessed with taking time to be your own free spirit, like, be liberated, because we've talked about passion a lot, and that was the other card that jumped out. It's fire, it's passion, grabbing a hold of that, grabbing a hold of your faith and what you believe in. So with that, I'm going to draw one more card, and it's from the Spellcasting Oracle deck, which is this one. Marvelous. And so, just because I really love the pictures in this card, and so I'm going to just one more card for our Fae Elemental mid-month readings. Whoop, and there it is, just jumped right out. Look at that. Manifestation. This goes along with your Archer. This Archer is manifestation, and you see the wish star and the moon. This is like your Aquarius, and you've got Pisces almost in that, but we're talking about manifestation and Gemini. But this is the Magician. This is you bringing it all in. Put your horns on. Lighten up. Get your wild person out. Manifest. Dance around the fire. Sing, dance, manifest everything. Heal yourself. Like, exploit yourself. You're in a good zone. Like, you can work with this. Embrace your green woman within. You can materialize and manifest anything you want. So I hope you've enjoyed the Earth element. First elemental reading, elemental reading. Anyway, these are my fairy readings. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit like and subscribe. If you like, I'm going to be uploading other videos on with my elements readings with my other cards for other situations, moons and stuff. So that will be on my Miss Mellie's flow page as well. It'd be great to see you. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it.